Hi everyone. I want to give you a little demonstration of what goes on in an older HVAC unit in regards to the foam. As the car ages, the foam starts to dry up and deteriorate and eventually turns to a powder. When that happens, you'll notice that you start getting foam or bits of foam blown out through the ventilation system, and you slowly lose control of the system where you can't mix the air you want from the inside and outside. You lose control of the temperature and direction of where your air is blowing. So this is a unit. Don't know what year this came out of, but some of the foam is okay, but most of it is pretty sad shape. This is how the unit sits in the car. And what you're looking at the side of the unit right now, the lower half has been removed in order to get the evaporator out. The evaporator sits in this end, and if you opened up this end and or remove the ventilation fan, you would see the evaporator and the expansion valve right in here. This here is where the door is that controls the defroster. We have the side vents that go off to the side vents in the car and in the doors. We have the lower footwell vents here, and we have the center vent here. So I already scraped off some of the foam on the defrost door, and I'll close it here again so you can see it. As you can see, the foam is it's basically powder. Nothing left of it. Okay. I'll turn the unit around, and we're looking at now the door that shuts off the ventilation system to the center vents, and I'll close that one now. That one is right there. You can see the condition of the foam. I'm going to scrape some of this foam off. And as you can see, the foam just fell right off. All the foam is now inside there, and that foam would have just blown out the ventilation system. So we're going to take this unit apart completely, go over it, clean it up. We're going to refoam it. Most of the foam that's on these units is an open cell foam, and the reason why I use an open cell foam is to prevent moisture from getting trapped within the system. There's only a few places that will use closed cell foam, and that is on the vent fan where it mounts to the firewall, so we don't get water intrusion in there through the firewall, and also on the seals where the tubing for the evaporator is. That's closed cell here. There'll be new foam on that. So as I pull these, I do have one other thing here. This is one of the mixed doors. This is where the heater is located, and I already pulled the foam off this earlier. This foam was not in too bad shape. It probably had another couple years before it completely disintegrated. But as you can see, the foam just came right off in these chunks. This is the mixed door that controls the heat and cold air. Basically, it operates on a worm gear here, and it's driven by a motor that sits on the very bottom. And I'll have the housing on here. I pulled the housing off again, and that drive motor turns the screw, plus that same drive motor is also what operates the cable that goes to the heater valve. I do have a cable system right here. This is the drive motor that controls the mixed doors through that little fitting right there, and this is the cable that goes to your heater. So if you're having a problem with the mixed doors, or you think you're having a problem with the mixed doors, the heaters, you're getting hot air in when you don't want hot air in, if you see this cable is operating correctly, that means these doors are operating correctly, and it's your foam that's in bad shape, or it's possible that your HVAC control on the dash are shot and not controlling temperature properly. So I will rebuild these units, and I will take a couple photos as I'm rebuilding them so you can see what the progress is as I move along.